Hello, I'm just going to quickly show you how to use the first version of the My Exams function in RadExam. This is going to be improved further on, but it is doable now. So if you click on the My Exams tab, this will take you to this page. And these are the draft exams from your institution. These may be made by you, or they may be made by other people at your institution. And these are just draft, they're just visible to you. And these are ones that are not available in the library, they're not ready to be assigned, you've been working on them. When you're ready to assign them, you will just click Move to Library, and that will move to your own personal library. We do not currently have the ability for different institutions to share exams with each other through this interface. However, if you do want to share an exam with another institution, perhaps develop it together, or they've heard you have a good neuroradiology exam, then you can contact RadExam support at acr.org and they can manually copy that over. The ability to share exams will be available in a later version. If you want to preview the exams that you have been making, you can click Preview here. I won't go into that right now. So if we want to make a new exam, we go under Create a New Exam. We have to fill in some basic function here, Petra's test breast exam. This category column is not very helpful at the moment, but it will get better. We will define this a little more simply, but you could have breast for breast no MRI, let's say. Difficulty level, decide on who this is going to be for, and you can pick multiple levels here, similar to you can in RadExam. And then if it's a timed exam, how long they're going to have to take it. Now you want to add the questions. Sure, because it's a complete mess anyway. All right, and what this is going to come into is it's going to come into a page where you can filter down and find questions. So I'm going to look here. I just want to look under breast questions. So it's going to bring up, gazillions of breast questions here. But let's say I only want them to be mammogram. And another thing that's going to change here is these filter fields are going to come in line with those we have conventionally in RadExam, so it will make it a little bit easier. These are from Cortex generally. So I just want to do that. I'm not going to worry about that. And I want questions that are suitable for the R levels that I have chosen for this particular exam. And so what this is going to do is it will filter all the exams in the database, and there's sort of there's over 5,000, nearly 6,000 I think, in there, and bring up all the questions that fulfill your particular criteria. Now, obviously you're going to want to look at these, but just to look at this box first of all, this is a QID, so if you have any questions about a question, you need to quote this. What the topic is, how many times has that particular question been administered within RadExam, and what is the p-value? The p-value is the number of residents that get it right. And ideally, we want to have a p-value that's between 0.35 and 0.95. In other words, 35 to 95% of test takers get it right. The higher the number, the easier the question. So like this one is probably a little bit too difficult, just borderline so. This question is just falling in it quite nicely. And so on. So you probably don't want to pick questions that are not performing very well. When I have a look at the question, we're going to click on the blue hyperlink here, and it's going to bring you into a separate tab. So this is not the same tab, and it will bring you up with the question. It will bring you up with the answers. You can just close that window when you've had done with it. So you say, okay, I like that one. I'm just going to add that one to my exam. And you can bring it down here, and that's then be added to your exams. You can do the same with as many questions as you want. I'm just going to pick up some random ones here, looking at each one. You would normally look at each one before you add it over and put them in my exam. I can then preview the exam and go through, sorry about the barking dogs, preview the exam, and I can go through, I've got 6 questions here. I can go through each of my questions and review that I like that particular exam. Just move back to my tab here, and then you can do 2 things. If you want to work on it again later, you're not fully happy with it, you can move it to your drafts, or you could move it to your library. I don't want to move it to my, and then it will be ready to be used the same as any other exam in RadExam. I'm just going to move it to my drafts because I don't want to clutter it up with a whole load of junk. And you can see here, I have it. I can work on it, modify the questions, delete it if I don't like it, or move it to the library. Please have a play around with this. It's really designed so that you can make a test that is very specific to the learning requirements or testing requirements of your residents. So perhaps your first-year residents don't do any PET on their nuclear medicine rotation. You can make an exam that has no PET in it. You can, just to let you know, at the moment, you will only get an institutional comparison for those exams. You will not get a national comparison because they're only going to be available to you. We'll work on some of those national comparisons later. And we'll also work on you being able to edit our RadExams to make a whole new exam for yourself, but that's not currently available. Hope this helps you. Let me know if there's any questions.